Hi everyone, welcome back to Our World TV. If you have not seen the recent interview with Chris Watts, this is a summary of that interview. If you are not familiar with the Watts case, we have several videos covering this story in detail. Links are in the description box down below. It has now been revealed that Chris Watts' two young daughters were driven alive, together with their mother's dead body, at their feet, to the location where he smothered them, while their oldest daughter begged for her life. These bombshell revelations come from a recent prison interview Watts gave to agents with the FBI and the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, as well as police detective from Frederick, where Watts lived with his pregnant wife Shanann and their daughters Bella and Celeste. It was in that 5-hour recent interview that Chris Watts explained in chilling detail exactly how he killed his family. It was also at that time that Watts told the FBI and CBI agents he has pictures of Shanann, Bella, and Celeste in his prison cell and talked to them every morning and every night. All of Watts' previous claims about the night his family died were turned upside down with his new interview, which investigators conducted to obtain more information about the murders. He gave investigators more detail than before about what really happened when Shanann returned home from her business trip. Watts said he and his wife had sex about 30 minutes after she got home. Chris said he felt like Shanann knew about his affair with his co-worker Nicole. Chris said that having sex with Shanann may have been a trigger point, or like you hit the push button and it just blows up, the report states. Watts told the investigators he and Shanann fell asleep after their sexual encounter, but he woke her up after getting ready for work. When Shanann awoke, she turned over onto her back and Watts said he straddled her to talk. Shanann told him he was possibly hurting their unborn baby, and told him she knew there was someone else and began crying. Chris initially denied having an affair with Kissinger, and told Shanann he didn't think their marriage would work, and when he told her that he no longer loved her, that is when Shanann allegedly threatened to keep the children away from him. "You're never going to see the kids again," Watts quoted his wife saying. "You're never going to see them again. Get off me, don't hurt the baby." That's when Watts strangled Shanann, the report says. Watts said she never screamed or fought back. He believes she may have been praying as he took her life. Watts theorized that noise from Shanann's death may have woken Bella, who walked into the master bedroom holding a blanket. She asked what's wrong with her mother. "Mommy doesn't feel good," Watts told the little girl. He wrapped Shanann's body face down in a bedsheet, which was later recovered at the Anadarko oil site. As Bella watched her father drag her mother down the stairs, she began to cry. "What's wrong with Mommy?" she asked again. Watts repeated that Shanann didn't feel well, but told investigators during the interview, Bella is a smart girl, and knew what was going on. The sound of Shanann being dragged down the staircase woke Celeste, who was getting out of her bed when Watts returned from placing Shanann's body on the rear floor bed of his truck, which he backed into the driveway. He loaded Bella and Celeste onto the truck's rear bench seat, their mother's body at their feet. He placed a gas can in the back of the truck with suicide on his mind, Watts told the investigators. "Is Mommy okay?" Bella asked. Watts said he told her Shanann would be fine. Because he did not want the girls to see their mother's face, he placed trash bags over her head and feet. The bags were later found by detectives at the site of her burial. A neighbor's surveillance camera caught fleeting images of Watts loading his truck that morning, including the gas can he placed in the truck bed. The images do not show the children or Shanann's body. At the time the footage was released, It was believed all three were dead when Watts drove away from the house. Bella and Celeste, each carrying a blanket, and Celeste cuddling a stuffed dog, dozed on and off on the ride to the Anadarko site, Watts said. They held each other in their sleep and lay in each other's laps. At one point during the ride, Bella told him, "Daddy, it smells." The document indicates that as Shanann was being strangled, her bowels evacuated. Once at the tank battery, Watts removed Shanann's body from the truck and dragged her over to where he planned to bury her. Both girls asked what he was doing to her, but he said he couldn't remember what he had told them, according to the report. Back at the truck, Watts said he grabbed the blue New York Yankee blanket Celeste was holding and put it over her head. The report says he strangled her in the back seat of the truck as her older sister sat at her side. He put his hand over Celeste's mouth and nose, over the blanket, and his other hand around the front of Celeste's neck. Bella was seated right beside Celeste as he strangled her, but Bella didn't say anything. Watts told investigators he wasn't thinking as he killed his daughter. "If I was thinking, this wouldn't have happened," Watts said, "or any partial hint of what I feel for those girls and what I feel for my wife, then none of this would have happened. So I wasn't thinking." Once Celeste was dead, he carried her from the truck over to one of the oil tanks, where he opened the hatch and dropped her inside, feet first. He closed the hatch and went back to the truck. Bella asked what happened to her sister. "Is the same thing going to happen to me as Cece?" Bella asked her father. Watts told the investigators he was not sure if he responded affirmatively or not. He put the Yankees blanket over Bella's head. "Daddy, no!" she cried. Watts said those were Bella's last words. Bella put up a fight for her life. Watts told the investigators he could hear her grunt as she tried to breathe, and her head twisted back and forth under the blanket. Autopsy results on her small body showed she bit through her tongue multiple times as she struggled against her father. After using the same suffocation technique he had with Celeste, Watts carried Bella to the second oil tank on the site and dropped her inside. According to the document, Bella seemed harder to get into the tank than Celeste, but he just had to manipulate her to get her inside. After disposing of his daughter's bodies, Watts said he returned to where Shanann lay and began using a rake to clear away some weeds. The rake broke and he left part of it at the site, where it would be later found by detectives. He used the shovel to dig Shanann's grave and bury her. Though she was not bleeding or cut, Watts noticed her eyes were bloodshot. Watts said he later got rid of his clothes and the Yankees blanket in a construction dumpster in his neighborhood. He did so on his way home from work the day of the slayings. Shanann's friend had called him to come home because no one was answering the Watts door, and she was worried about a potential medical emergency.
Concerned about a friend of mine. She's not answering the door. She's not responding to text messages, phone calls, and there's no movement in the house whatsoever.
Watts told investigators he had never been angry like that before. In the interview, he seemingly blamed Bella and Celeste's murders on his anger at Shanann. He subsequently blamed his anger at Shanann on her separating him from his family. He described her in the interview as the more domineering partner in the marriage, but said there was nothing abusive about their relationship. Watts claimed Shanann never got along well with his family, and said his grandmother was the only family member to attend the couple's wedding. Shanann butted heads most with his mother, and the month before the murders, she had allegedly forbidden his parents from seeing their grandchildren again. I don't know if that had something to do with it, Watts said in the interview. That something inside me just triggered it, and then it just, like all that pent up from the wedding and everything. It's like a long fuse that finally just went to its end. Watts said he pleaded guilty to all 9 felony charges against him to save everyone involved the heartache of a trial. Shanann's parents have filed a wrongful death lawsuit against him. So far, he has not fought the proceedings. Watts told the investigators that every time he closes his eyes, he hears Bella's voice pleading, "Daddy, no." He said he also looks outside of the prison each day and wonders what he would be doing with his children if they were alive. Right now, I'd have a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and more than likely a 1-month-old son, Watts said, according to the document, and a beautiful wife. Right now, it's just me. Chris Watts is serving life in prison for the crimes committed against Shanann Watts in their Frederick, Colorado home. He was sentenced to 2 additional consecutive life sentences for the crimes committed against the couple's daughters, Bella 4 and Celeste 3, as well as a 4th and 5th concurrent life sentences in the case. Watts was transferred to the Wisconsin prison system for his own protection after pleading guilty in November to 9 felony charges. On top of his 5 life sentences, Watts was sentenced to another 48 years for unlawful termination of a pregnancy and 12 years each for 3 counts of tampering with a deceased body. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave your thoughts, comments, and questions in the comments section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Smash that bell notification right next to the subscribe button so you guys can get notified of every single video we upload as we upload it. Don't forget to check out all of our other videos on the Chris Watts case as well. Thank you so much for watching. Much love from our world to yours.